Nick, you haven't gagged me in weeks.
So he's standing right there, and he's I'm sure it's not going to work, but he's going to do his damnedest to attract the attention. He's got bonus action move, and he's just going to attack with his couple of daggers there.
Sure.
For expediency's sake, you could just roll 2d20 and 2d4 and just assign 1d4 to each d20.
Roll 2d20.
Okay, no, you can't do it like that. Never mind.
That's fine. You can do it.
Okay.
Just roll 2d20.
Roll 2d20.
We'll take care of the rest.
A 9 and a 13.
So with your plus 3, that's a
12
12 on the first and a 16 on the second. The second one does hit, so now you can roll that d4 for damage.
Okay. 2.
2 points of piercing damage as this servant moderately annoys the clay golem.
Yeah, he's not doing a very good job.
Hey, he's doing damage. Sean?
He's doing something.
So if I reload, do I get to shoot the second gun, or do I spend my whole turn reloading?
You only have to spend at this level? I don't remember. You can still use the side gun. Well, no, you can't if you can't take the attack action. So let me look that up real quick. Damn.
What are you trying to do here?
Eventually, you get to reload as an attack, not an attack action, but as an attack.
I
don't know if you're
I
there
can
yet.
reload and still shoot my secondary gun.
Yeah,
I'll pull it
you
up.
should be able to.
Okay.
Your secondary gun is just a secondary attack, like if you were double-handing something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's tied to having to have a main attack. You're just allowed to attack with the secondary weapon as a bonus action.
So I have the bullets in my hand. I'm going to spin the chamber and do like that as it's spinning to reload the one gun. And then I'm going to fire my second gun as long as I can fire the second gun.
Yeah, you can. So you can use the main gun once and the side gun once. Because you have to
since I have
spend your first attack with your main gun of 2, it has to reload.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So do I get so normally I get main, secondary.
Yeah.
All my mains are gone, or do I still get a main and a
just
second?
one main is gone.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, is it just one main?
You have to spend an attack or an action to reload.
Oh, so yeah, spend one of your attacks.
So if you were hasted, you could even spend the hasted. Well, that gets iffier.
So I am going to do, now that I have a grip point back,
We'll
I'm going to do the advantage sharpshooter.
Okay.
20 to hit.
That hits.
26 piercing.
Okay. You watch as your shot obliterates the clay golem.
Hell yeah.
And as it falls into pieces, it says on its own, because its friend is already dead, "You have passed."
Excellent.
And then you watch as the doors on both sides of the room slide open, including the one that you had not yet been in.
We proved them wrong. He said they shall not pass. We proved them wrong.
No.
We shall pass.
Yes, we shall pass, indeed.
Shall pass.
And I go, "Welp," and holster him. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Good work.
Tessin just sort of like flashes up to you, Lena, and it's like, "Lena, are you okay?" Because you're a giant dragon.
Oh, right. Well, I can't speak as a dragon, so let me... I can speak Draconic, though, so I could speak to Karash right now. But I'm going to revert back to my irregular form. And then I'll say...
While she's doing this, Lou is
no,
coming
I
down.
don't feel
wait,
quite
before
right.
you come down.
Okay.
I want to go over to Lou and because the rope is still going to the floor, right? That's how this thing, one of the cables.
Sure.
I'm going to just kind of move it and be like, a little theatrical, don't you think?
I mean, don't you think I was out of range?
I mean, sure, but wasn't I out of range too? I didn't need this doohickey to do it.
Let's just say I don't know what you're capable of. If I need to be out of range, I'm going to get out of range. I may have made a miscalculation.
All right. Why don't you just come down there?
Tessin will look
She
at
comes
Lena.
down.
Is she okay? Like,
Are my hit points still down?
Or her hit points still effed?
I'm sure I don't feel very good if that's the case.
Yeah, you don't really feel 100%.
Yeah, I'll relay as much to Tessie and that I don't feel quite right.
Well, Lou, you have all those vials and potions. Do you have something that can help our friend Lena?
Vial potions. I will lay on hands for 20 whatever.
As you go to lay on hands, it has no effect.
What?
Well, I'll just say you get to keep the points.
You literally can't do it. You can't restore the hit points. Her hit point maximum is reduced.
I'm trying to heal the damage, not the permanently removed HP.
There's
Well,
no
the damage and the
There's
permanently
been no
removed HP are
damage.
one and the same.
Yeah, I got.
Oh, I thought she took damage and had her HP lowered permanently.
Well,
She
Not-
did. Well,
did.
she did, but they're the same amount now. So like you can't top anything off because she's at max HP right now. Congratulations. It's just 22 lower than where it was when we walked in.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in response to Isaac, Lou says, I think you're mischaracterizing what these are for. These cause damage. They do not heal it.
Well, Lou, that was an opportunity for some trust.
Isaac will remember that.
Well, we'll need to be careful, Lena. Perhaps you stay a little bit farther back if the combat breaks out again.
And I think about this. I seem a little reluctant, but I nod and I say, okay. I'll be a little cautious.
Is everyone else okay?
Feeling
Did anybody
great.
else take damage?
To be honest, I was
Literally
glad to get out a little
no
bit
one
of
else.
this frustration, so I'm doing
Great
quite
game.
well.
Well, then let's continue. We best not dally here.
Lou walks up to his mechanical servant and looks him over pretty close.
Seems to be in good shape.
Does he have a name?
Yes.
Is it Reginald?
No, it's
He said it earlier.
I'm curious.
Raksha.
This is a trust
Raza.
opportunity.
Right, he did say that, yeah.
Mata.
Close.
Yeah.
Proceeding onward, this door that slid open in front of you basically leads into another nondescript hallway. The sense you're quickly gleaning is that at least here, these hallways are not really part of the test, just junctures between them to give you a moment to breathe, to gather yourself. But eventually it also leads into another room. And all these are straight shots, by the way. These seem to be just connected just one after the other. There's not any winding to the path or anything of that nature. So what happens now is essentially this. You see a room up ahead of you, and everybody make a perception check.
I'm casting Mage Armor on the way to this next room, by the way.
Hey, Chris, while we're doing perception, is Grit encounter or it's daily refresh, right? It's not encounter based.
Oh, I critical failed. How fitting is that?
Grit's a short or long rest. So it has to be not encounter, but it could be a short rest.
Oh.
But that takes an hour.
Oh, okay. So we're not at that.
Oh my god.
8 perception, by the way. Lena failed.
I did. Isn't that fitting though? I'm like dying and all like.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Let's just point
A
out
9.
her failure is still a 9.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I know.
So for myself, I rolled a 7. Out of curiosity, is this perception have something to do with sound?
Not really, unfortunately, because the sound is
Okay.
going to be nothing.
Okay, and now he does get his own. I imagine it's just 1d20. It's the same proficiency, so 1d20 plus 4.
Yep.
Plus 3, plus 4.
Ratha?
1d20 plus 4.
Okay.
All right, the servant rolls a 21, and he can signal to me anything. He just can't speak.
Okay. So 8, 9, 7, 21, and what'd you get?
A 9.
The 9?
So the only thing to notice anything was the freaking servant.
That is correct.
He's over here doing like a little airport guy. He's like, hey, your thing's doing a thing, man.
You guys see what appears to be a jumble of statues up ahead. Lou, your servant, relays to you that this appears to be a series of statues that were in some kind of battle. Also informs you that he sees a bunch of mirrors in the room up ahead.
I like this. This sounds fun already. All right. All right, hang on.
Are you going to tell us anything?
Yes, hang on. I'm working on it.
What is your dog
No.
doing?
I was just implying you didn't have to say a thing.
I could violate the trust of the entire group to my own detriment. Gotcha.
Your dog
Okay.
is vibrating.
And he said it
There's a
didn't
lot
heal.
of stuff up ahead. He mentions that he seems to be indicating the stuff that we can see. There's a lot of them. There's the soul. There's the. Sorry, what was it? They're like. It's like an army of statues.
Yeah, it seems to be at least a half dozen or more. You can't tell for sure from this distance and not in the room yet, but at least a half dozen or more statues that were locked in some kind of battle.
He sees a lot of statues over there. And he also mentions that he can see himself over there for some reason. I don't really understand it, to be sure. There's no reason why he should be over there.
Perhaps a reflection then.
Okay.
Or,
That could be
a clone. Maybe does Genmo have a dog too?
He does not.
Then maybe not.
We'll keep an eye on these statues and for any duplicates of ourselves, but I think it's best we go about this as quickly as possible given Lena's condition.
Trying to put on a brave face, breathing a little heavy though.
Okay. You guys head in?
Yeah.
It will not shock you that the door closes behind you.
Oh, I'm so
It's a
surprised.
Zelda dungeon. The door just goes... Boom.
Woo!
When the door closes behind you, there's a mirror on it as well. As you guys step in, you're in a room kind of in between the size of the last couple, maybe 70 or 75 feet on both sides. It's once again square. So, medium size, not quite as small as the first, but bigger than the last. Or, sorry. Bigger than the first, smaller than the last. And
Ceiling
inside...
height?
What's up?
Ceiling height?
Ceiling height's about 15 feet. It also has mirrors across its surface.
Okay.
Are the walls mirrored as well?
The walls also across the entirety of the room surrounding you are mirrored. The floor also. It's kind of strange as you step on it, and there's even like a little bit of dirt on your shoes as you walk in, and you can see like the little pieces of it crumble. But unlike the last few rooms that have had like this earth component to them, this earthy kind of like, ground-based thing, this is not that at all. This has mirrors on every side, ceiling, floor, the doors that you have entered. There does seem to be just a small crease where there could be another door across on the far side as well, but it too has a mirrored reflection on its surface.
Let me just tell you what a relief it is that it is in fact mirrors and not clones or some other wretched magic thing.
Tessian will keep an eye on not what is in the room, but what is in the mirrors, the reflection of the room. So,
Okay.
like, if he's looking at the statues and us walking through the room, but in the mirrors, he is not going to focus on what's physically here.
The problem is it's going to create that thing where you see like 18,000 layers because there's mirrors on both sides.
It never ends. It's a
Gonna suck.
discordant picture you're trying to
Yeah.
see. But
Yeah, it's
gonna
a
be
little
gross.
discombobulating, but
so as you guys kind of take your bearings of what's around you here, with the door closed behind you, and Tessie and I've got that noted for the moment, you do now see essentially exactly what Lou described, his hell dog, as you call it, scene. A series of statues in the middle of the room. You can now see that there are 7 of them. The majority of them are holding weapons. One of them seems to be clutching at a holy symbol, but the rest of them have a spear, a sword. One of them is using a flail. One has a javelin. One's wielding a mace. And all of them appear to be facing... everybody make a history check.
23.
3.
8.
7.
No.
I mean,
16?
I'm sure I could make the thing do 1, but it'd probably be basically 0.
Karash, you and Tessian think that you recognize the other creature that all of these combatants, as they were, are facing. It is something that Tessian, you have read about in your many books, especially about folklores and legends and the more peculiar oddities of the world of Aramea. It is a feminine figure.
Oh, no.
It appears to have snakes for hair.
Yeah.
Oh God.
A serpentine body, and all of the combatants that you saw in the room are sort of brandishing their weapons in its direction. From the vantage point where you guys are kind of standing as you come in the room, you see them all. They're all sort of with their back to you, and the Medusa is sort of looking at the corner of the room, kind of across from you, not really in your direction, but it is also a statue.
Okay. God.
But these other 7 combatants appear to have been locked in some form of battle with this. What, again, the two of you in your travels, and Karash, you've been around to hear enough weird tales on the seas, and people, spread stories, but pretty confident. It's not a description that fits a whole lot else. You feel pretty confident that is, in fact,
Am I
a Medusa.
aware that Medusas turn things to stone with their gaze?
I'd say with a 23, yes.
Tessian immediately tells everyone to... Everyone stop! Close your eyes, now!
Okay, I'm gonna listen.
Why? I will close my eyes, but
Find the person next to you and hold on to them. We need to group up.
I'm
Do not
groping.
lose everyone.
Okay, who
Lou
is the
grabs Lena.
closest? Okay. Hi.
Why are we doing this?
The creature in the middle, it may have been a statue, but it was a Medusa. Its gaze can turn someone to stone. This entire room is designed to allow us to see that gaze from anywhere. If it is active or if there is one around here, we need to keep our eyes shut.
But didn't you just say that the Medusa is frozen in stone?
I did. But that could just mean that there were 2 of them.
And with mirrors, I would think, is it designed to... does the gaze have to be direct? I'm wondering if the mirrors are actually what allow us to fight if this is a trial.
I mean, I don't know what Tessian knows, but Tessian would say, I'm not going to risk it. They look like there might have been a door on the other side. I say we follow each other over there, blind as it may be, and try to find the door to leave.
If I may, perhaps I can leave my eyes open with these on them. And he reaches into his trench coat and puts on some goggles, which enables him to see through the eyes of his construct.
Okay.
Oh.
I like this risk.
What are you doing over?
Why?
What are you doing over there?
I think that I'm going to try to. Well, he's going to do the best to explain to them that he thinks it's possible. It might be that it will render him invulnerable to the magic of the gaze of Medusa.
Whatever you say, red shirt.
Jesus.
No.
So you're saying you can see through the eyes of your automaton there?
That is correct.
Well then, I
I
agree.
must say, however, that knowing that retcon, knowing that this gent over here, that I do not know the name of, is about to raise an objection, this device only works for my eyes.
I wasn't going to... I don't want to put on your weird glasses, but I'm glad you have them.
At this point, I'm willing to trust you, Lou. Please guide us towards the door.
Okay, so he does that. Are we all gathered? We're all like.
Trust circle.
Yeah, Lou, has the Medusa moved yet?
From what I understand, we can't even see a actual live Medusa. Is that
It's
correct?
a statue.
There's a
I'm
statue.
wondering if I can just open my eyes if it
No.
hasn't even moved yet.
No.
I mean, like, I want you to do it because I want this to backfire for you as a player, but not like in character.
Okay, so
like not
based
even a
on the
big deal,
gestures
guys.
that I just saw Chris doing, it would suggest to me that through the eyes of my construct, I cannot see that the Medusa has moved.
Correct. Hasn't been any movement since you entered the room, and the thing about the sound I was referring to is like it seems to be extraordinarily quiet.
Okay. So I kind of okay. If anything is to be our guide, however, is that a lot of the stuff in here is going to react to this lady here. And he gestures to Lena.
I
Yes.
agree. Are you thinking we should take the outer edges of the room?
Okay, so is Medusa in the middle?
Effectively. It's like she's in the center of the room, but not the dead center. I mean, she's sort of a little bit askance just because she's facing the other group of like the 7 of them that are engaged in combat with her. So slightly off center, but close.
Okay. So I don't think there's like, if I were to guess the way the magic works, there's no avoiding. If anything's going to activate, they're all going to activate. So
I'm sorry, I have to say something. Can we just stop for a second, and we need to tell your dad he's doing it wrong. He's wearing too many shirts.
You should be sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so I imagine it is probably my construct point. Me after that, with everybody behind me with their eyes shut, and we're gonna start walking towards the middle and see what happens.
Okay.
Is that correct, everybody?
Yes.
I like it.
And if you can, keep an eye on the reflections. Perhaps there's some magic to what's in the mirror, not without.
Okay. Can we make that part of my perception going forward?
Sure.
Okay.
Sweet.
Do I
So-
need to make a roll?
You can make a perception check, sure, through the construct.
Well, let's not do 40 plus 4.
44, 44 perception.
That sounds pretty good. I don't know.
I rolled a 17.
You see everything that has ever existed and ever will. 17, and you're kind of keeping an eye out as you guide them to the center.
Yes.
Okay. In that marching order, you guys kind of start to creep from the sides of the room towards the middle. Construct's relatively short, right? A couple feet, all fours.
Yes, basically the height of a dog.
I want to say something between when we're walking and before we maybe reach that area.
Now's your chance.
I would say, wait a minute, though. Theoretically speaking, isn't this group that's frozen a previous Conatus?
In theory. Why?
It feels bad to just leave them here to their fate. Who knows how long they've been frozen?
You've a way to free them.
I was hoping maybe you've come across something in your studies. Not magically inclined, but there has to be a way, right?
I mean, there are many ways to cure such a thing, but none that I have.
Didn't you guys previously rescue Lena from a petrification?
Yeah, but that was somebody who's no longer with us, his grandfather, who happened to have the potion handy. So
Yeah, and I
unless
think
you've
he,
got
like,
a grandpa you
smashed
can
it
pull out
on
of your
my
pocket.
form or something. So
So he didn't give us any extra, right?
No, he just threw it on Lena's, cracked it on her head.
To be
on
fair,
her
it was a
stone.
different creature as well.
right,
Yeah,
it wasn't.
So
a
whether or not it
Medusa.
would work is questionable. It might.
Maybe we can't do anything here, but now. But
Well, unless we can fit them in the bag of holding, I think they might just be here for a bit longer.
can we actually fit them in the bag of holding?
I don't think we can. I was trying to make a joke, but like now I regret it.
No, actually, Tessian, can we fit them in the bag of holding? Theoretically, they don't need air, so that solves that problem.
What did I?
Bleeding heart,
Uh,
Isaac.
2-foot diameter hole on a bag of holding. Why do I bag of holding?
I don't want to leave them here.
I can't help but wonder if that's going to be irrelevant in the near term because we're about to get attacked by Medusa.
Roughly 2 feet in diameter at the mouth and 4 feet deep.
2 feet.
So you have to decide if a 2-foot-ish diameter is enough to fit a statue that we can't really move. I mean, maybe it gives a little bit.
I mean, if it's 4 feet deep, we'd be doing it by parts at the very best. And
Well, the 4 feet deep is just for like how long it hangs on you. It'll go deeper than that because it's a bag of holding.
Yeah, girl.
So I'm gonna. Okay. I will have the bag of holding as we near the statues, and then something will probably happen that I'll have to put it away. But
Because it can hold a volume of 64 cubic feet, which is a lot.
So, you guys approach the middle with Lou in the front. Lena was towards the front, yes. And then,
Yeah.
What was the perception from the servant?
17.
I think it was,
looks
17, I think.
17.
Yeah, from him.
Oh, I think you're muted.
how did I get muted? Okay, 17. Yes.
Yeah.
We don't have these answers.
Yeah, no, I'm not there. I don't have the first clue. As you approach, Lou, looking through your servant's eyes at, of course, a reduced height. 17. A couple other things stick out to you now as you get closer and have a different vantage point. One of the combatants is holding a shield that also appears to be reflective in nature, and the soldier holding it is peering out over the top of it, of course frozen in time and space, but kind of has it like up in front of him, but is peering out over the top. There also appears to be, I mean, a couple of the people that were here, and they have necklaces as part of their accoutrements, along with some armor and other implements. But the one with the shield also seems to have a key around his neck that has also turned to stone.
So
Stone?
I am aware of the Medusa. I'm gonna open my eyes and just look at the people that we're observing. Very careful. Like, I will be ready if the Medusa moves to close them, or at least I would like to try. That's what Isaac's thinking. So he would like to open his eyes and look at this group. My question would be the shield and all of the so like everything is stone, or like is the shield and the other stuff still like the material and it's just the people that are stone?
Everything is stone.
Okay.
All the weapons, the key, except for the shield.
And the shield is it
Reflective.
right? But is it only the reflective part? The part that's not stone is like the base, is the straps and all that regular too?
I mean, you'd have to get awful close to find that out because you'd only see the front of it.
Oh, okay. I will relay, along with, I'm sure, Lou, this information.
Yeah. Lou conveys to them that what seems to have happened is that the Medusa caught her own gaze and is now stone. But that does not suggest to that still does not include if there's any additional danger.
If the Medusa can turn itself to stone, this is not a very good room for a Medusa, is it?
And there's a magical mirror.
What?
I don't know. Magical mirror?
Can you, Lou, lead us over to the statue with the shield, if you could.
I'm gonna like the Medusa is like there.
Very chic.
I do so.
Okay. Then
And if anybody wants their hands guided to the shield or whatever in question, I will do so.
I will attempt. I would like to try to remove the shield.
Yeah, I want to look at the back.
Okay. Looking at the back's going to require kind of like climbing in between the statues to get a view of it, because there's essentially like these are, with the stone all around them, these are thicker bodies than they would have been just as humans. So like there's a few different angles where you might be able to like crawl between a couple of them and see the inside of it, but it's going to be difficult.
If I just feel the back of it, does it feel a certain way?
It feels like stone.
Well, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna literally be there looking at it.
Looks like everything except the surface of it is stone.
Okay. There's no good way to remove it, Tessie, and I wouldn't want to risk breaking our poor chaps here.
And it is, I mean, you can just tell from kind of just feeling around the surface, like it is wedged in there. You're not sure if it's immovable or not, but it's definitely solid.
Let us see if this door opens on the other end.
I guide everybody to the door, other than Isaac, who is apparently now on his own.
Heading over towards the door, you can see the group's reflection as you approach it getting larger. And as a point of fact, all the reflections have seemed to check out, and you're kind of keeping an eye on that as you've been moving across the room. There aren't any walls where the reflection seems out of place or like something or someone is missing. It all tracks about as well as you can expect it to. Of course, again, with the infinity effect going on, it's difficult to follow too closely, but nothing stands out as like, hey, there's that mirror over there where nobody's in it.
Before all hell breaks loose, I want to observe, now that I'm looking, like, this group. Isaac is fascinated with the idea that, like, this is us from, like, another time. So, Chris, you kind of described the weapons that they were holding, but I'm kind of curious. If you don't have it right now, that's fine, but, like, race, age, like, Maybe not
Yeah.
age, but just like what do we have here? These few warriors.
As they move across and you take the time to kind of look them over, all 7 of them have the same face. Male humans from the looks of it, but all of them look, whether it's because they're turned to stone and it's covering up their features to some extent, or because they are all identical, you're not entirely sure, but they all look about the same to you.
Guys, I take it back. I don't know that these are actual adventurers or not. They all have the same face from what I can see.
Isaac, why aren't you following us?
What do you
And we
mean they
see
have the
nothing but
same
these
face? One of those should be an elf, right?
I'm curious. I'm looking for your equivalent, Lena, and I'm not
Yes.
really seeing it.
Huh. That's
All human
strange.
male, right?
Mm-hmm.
All human male faces with different weapons.
Do we make it to the door?
As you make it your way over to the door, as he's describing this, there is, it's hard to see because it's not the hugest in the world, but as you get closer, you can tell there is a keyhole. That's the only other thing that juts out. Well, juts out. That's the only thing that's basically not reflective on the surface of this. It is bigger than a standard keyhole, not like a comically sized mayor giving you the key of the city key, but it does seem to be about the size of the key that was hanging around the statue's neck.
Oh Lord.
Oh dear.
So is the band that it's around the neck? Is it also stone,
Yes.
Chris? And then is it a stone that is like, if you look at a statue, is it like a piece that looks like removable? Or it all looks like maybe carved out of the same block.
Seems
You know
kind
what I
of
mean?
carved out of the same block. You know how Ganondorf turns to stone at the end of Wind Waker?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like that. It basically just goes like,
So if I go to grab the key, it's just fastened into the person.
essentially, yeah. Like you can grab the exterior of it. It's distinct enough, but it's
Isaac, your eyes are open, are they not?
Yeah, sure are for now. I'm being very careful.
Very well. I'm going to need you to be a little bit risky.
Okay.
I need you to shoot the head off the Medusa.
Okay, well, I might close my eyes for that. It should be easy enough. And I'm going to close my eyes, put my gun up to the head of the Medusa, and, like, I know this is a game, but, like, I don't take disadvantage just because it's next to it, because it's a statue.
right
Okay.
for now.
So, yeah, right. Are you sure this is a good idea?
No, but I have a feeling we're going to need that key you've described, and the only way I can think of to unpetrify this lot is to remove the source of the petrification.
I just don't, want to kick the bear. Very well, I can shoot it.
Okay.
Unless Crash, you want to take the honors.
Smash the head.
Yeah,
Anything to try to kill this thing. I suspect it might still very well be alive, simply petrified, which is why the magic has persisted until now.
I can't see it. How am I going to hit it?
Just come over here. I'll have you feel it. Yep, come on, this way. Follow my voice.
Oh God, this sounds like a terrible idea.
So, Chris, out of curiosity.
Yep.
Just following along my mechanical servant using the goggles seems simple enough. But if I actually have to do Bidal using those eyes, I imagine I'm going to be rolling disadvantage upon disadvantage.
I guess we'll see.
It's good. I would think it would be tough. I saw a thing, a video game show where like they gave themselves the view, a third-person view, like Resident Evil, and they were not doing well. They had
yeah.
visors to their chest for first person, and they also had
Yeah.
cameras on their shoulder for
Yes.
third person.
It was bad.
It was
it was
real
rough.
bad.
Yes.
So, anyways, so I guide Karash to the statue,
Okay.
and
I will take out my mace and I'll try and smash his head in. I'll take tap the head first and then pull back. And
before you do it, Tessian, maybe you can haste.
He's
No.
doing it. He's doing it. This is happening.
Okay, well, I'm going to get away. Bye.
this
like how
seems
you-
like a
I like how you've opened your eyes for all this and now roped Karash into it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with Isaac's guidance, make a normal attack roll. basically undoes the disadvantage.
I want you to crit and then like smite for a bajillion damage and take
19
its.
to hit,
19 hits.
18 bludgeoning. Because I'm using my smashing mace.
Sure. You kind of line it up. You give it a couple quick taps just to make sure you know where it's at. I mean, it's not like your motor functions are bad or anything, so you know you have this lined up, and rear back, and crash your mace down upon it, basically hitting it kind of the back of the head, the neck. The head kind of hangs loose. It's enough to jar it, but it's not enough to knock it off. But it does. You can see like a noticeable dent, and it kind of like flops off its neck for a moment before settling back down. Might take another shot.
Karash, I don't think you quite got it all the way.
What?
Maybe whack it again.
Okay. I'll
Come
haul
on,
off,
don't be a
whack it
sissy
again.
about it. Really lean into this time.
Same roll, 10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Well, this time you didn't do the same mace then?
The same mace.
Well, the previous one you added 10.
10
What
bludgeoning.
are you talking
10 bludgeoning damage, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the added kick of a second strike and it already having been loosened, you knock the Medusa's head clean off of its body. There is a clattering sound as it hits the ground.
Ooh, the glass. That's probably bad.
And it does sort of like, you can see the splintering of the glass in that particular region of the floor as it connects, and it just kind of like makes a spiderweb type pattern out from the point of origin. The key around the soldier's neck glows momentarily, and those people who can see that it is now no longer turned to stone.
Ooh.
Why do I get the feeling the Medusa head is about to end up in the bag of holding? Courtesy
Karash,
of Karash.
you did it. I have the bag of holding. I'm going to go over. Instead of going to the key, I'm going to, looking away, feel around for the head of the Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put it in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
You got it? Is that it?
The head is in.
So wait, we got
the
a
head.
succubus,
Oh,
Gorgon, and now the Medusa?
Yeah, sorry. I got the head first. I thought, remove the threat. So I think you can all open your eyes now.
I'm not gonna look.
Okay, Karash is scared. That's
I
fine.
don't like any of this.
Well, anyways, I get the
If y'all
key.
could trust me.
I'm going to take the key off.
Probably
I can
open
confirm.
my eyes after a few seconds. See
Okay.
what.
And so I have the key. And I'll hand the key to Lena.
Okay.
And I am going to try to put a statue in the bag of holding around the statue. Are they all?
I do want to look at them a little more closely now that I can actually open my eyes and
Yeah.
look at these statues.
Are they
'cause I
too
think
wide,
it's
Chris?
weird.
I mean, you can fit the bag over the head,
Okay.
but it's not going to go around the shoulders.
Okay.
Something in the laundry room just died.
I just like. It's not quite work, especially their arms with the weapons. It's
Yeah.
not going.
That's all right. We got the head, I suppose. It won't be a threat anymore, so that's good.
Yeah, but
I'm-
what about these people? Question mark.
I am confused about this. I always thought that Cornetus was. What am I trying to say? Because I don't want to sound like racist.
Racist.
But I always
Wow.
thought it was like a thing in the Sownwood with the elves, and none of. I mean, they all have the same face, which is also weird. So.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't recall a time in history
Does
where
that
everyone.
key work on this door here?
Are you saying they all look the same to you?
Yeah, if you'd open your eyes, you could see that crash of the thunder.
I'm going to wait until we leave. Thank you.
In my time,
Well.
going around with people, there are people who can make copies of themselves. And if that person would see the glazed Medusa, it might create multiple versions of the same stone statue. If you don't mind me saying, there are 4 of us that are not Lena. This could be just one person from the party of the previous Canadius goer, whatever the Canadius is.
The Canadians?
Thank you, Lou. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we can't do what we can't do, but I just feel bad.
Does the key work?
All right. Well, if we leave them here, then that's it. I just want to make sure there's nothing we can do.
I don't think there is. I guess we just have to keep going.
I'm sorry, poor same face people. I'll come back for you if we ever figure out exactly what the hell happened.
Has Lena touched the key yet?
Yes. I handed it to her.
I have the key. I'm going to take it over now and try it on the lock, see if it unlocks for us.
It slides in, turns, and the door swings open.
Okay.
The hallway
Cool.
returns to its more normal form, assuming you guys are advancing.
Yeah.
I take a wistful look one more time, and then I go through the door.
And it opens up into a slightly wider and taller hallway than before, maybe 15 feet by 15 feet. Instead of that 10 by 10 that it was before, it feels like a little bit more spacious. You can usually kind of walk alongside each other, however you want to go about it. Doesn't really matter. And you hear Lena make a perception check.
Okay.
You hear Lena make a perception check.
Ooh, what's it sound like?
19.
She is also a robot.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
19.
What's a ribbit?
It's like a frog, but...
You hear a voice, seemingly in your own head,
Okay.
whisper, "Hustle and endure."
Okay. I'll just kind of stop and like put my hands on and be like, did anyone else hear that?
Hear what?
Yeah, what?
There was a voice just now. It told me to hustle and endure.
Is that so?
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go. I'm going to start running.
I'm going to cast haste on Lena and myself.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I am going to activate my Speed Force generator, which has the effect of haste on myself.
Jesus.
Nice.
I started running first, and you're all just going to by me.
$1 Million Man noises like the.
That's a good...
I'm going to lumber in the back, I guess.
As you guys start moving forward more quickly, a few things stand out to you. One, these hallways that you've been in now, of course, this has been expanding, and it seems to be opening even further, 20 by 20, 25 by 25 as you run forward. It also is changing its terrain underneath you, whereas it was, again, that sort of roughly cut out rock type, where it was easy footing, but still occasionally you could misstep a little bit. It is now changing to sand again.
Okay.
And it's making it a little bit more difficult to move forward to some extent as it gets a little bit deeper. Those of you with haste find it still relatively straightforward, but it is getting to the point where it is almost difficult terrain for the rest of the group. We are about to embark on a skill challenge.
Oh, dear.
Hey, cool.
Hey.
So, let's do the series of 5 of these. You pass and fail as a group. You pass and fail on enough of them, you succeed. And if not, we'll see which one you fail on.
We're all dead.
Yes.